Hello, I'm Margaret Graziano with Keen Alignment, where we empower people committed to shaping organizations that work. Frances Hesselbein, former CEO of the Girl Scouts of the USA, says culture doesn't change because we desire to change it. Culture only changes when the organization is transformed. The culture reflects the realities of the people working together every day. Organizations can't create an optimal workplace culture from a fancy PowerPoint and a set of savvy marching orders mandated from the CEO. As Francis says, it starts with people. Strategizing for an optimal workplace culture begins with understanding the 6 C's of shaping cultural alignment: complacency, curiosity, commitment, catalyzation, customer experience, and continual improvement. When you move from the stagnant place of complacency, which is a vague notion that culture is something a few organizations do really well, to the wonder space of curiosity, how can we shape an intentional, high performance, thriving culture? You're taking the first step of shaping a constructive corporate culture. The model of curiosity that we recommend is the design thinking model. In the agile software development world, this means you design a product with the end user in mind. You build the product based on what the customers say they want and need, and you build it for how it will solve their problem. It's the outside-in approach. So understanding what you need for an optimal workplace culture begins with talking to your people. Ask your team members if they could create the ideal workplace culture, what would it be like? Be prepared for some silly suggestions, for sure, like we want every day off with pay. Yet dig to uncover what they really want and what they really need. What would inspire and engage them? Find out what ideal looks like, what ideal feels like, what their experience would be like in ideal. Encourage them to share new ideas. Ask what would encourage them to take more risks. Ask what would encourage them to contribute more. Ask them what they think it'll take to unite everybody towards a big picture. This stage of curiosity begins with understanding and exploring. In curiosity, we need to really understand what's going on in the workplace. We need to understand the unproductive as well as the productive behaviors. So find out what works about your organization. What makes you unique and special? What do people love about working for you? And what do they think you do really well? On the other side of the ledger, ask what's getting in the way. What's in the way of collaboration, innovation, and engagement? What's in the way of achieving goals? When you ask and identify the constraints that impede happiness, workability, and productivity, you begin to uncover the barriers to achieving your mission. And you also learn what's getting in the way of being a great place to work. On a side note, when you're asking these questions and shining the light on what's perceived as not working, remember that your employees' perception is their reality. And learning about their reality is only the very beginning of your cultural journey. It's important that you stay neutral and you don't lead the witness during your inquiry. It's also important that you don't show concern about what they're saying. Your face will let them know if they can continue talking or not. Once you get the pulse of your workforce as a whole, and you begin to understand what makes your organization really special and what's missing, what's in the way, the presence of which would make a difference, it's then time to commit to making improvements that transform the human system. That commitment cannot be taken lightly. It requires the buy-in from all the people at the top, as well as all the people responsible for the people systems. A typical successful cultural transformation takes 2 to 3 years at a minimum and a community of aligned stakeholders, including, but certainly not limited to, HR. Next, it's time to catalyze your ideal culture, and we'll talk about that in later modules. After you catalyze, you'll measure. You'll measure what's working and how it impacts your customers' experience, both customers. If done right, your people inside will be happier, your teams will be more effective and more efficient and more productive. What's so amazing about cultural alignment is while it occurs to be a soft business nicety, it truly is the nucleus of a high-performing organization, and your numbers will improve. Measuring what matters and watching your experience of the customers, internal and external, will make a difference and your profitability will improve. The last C in shaping culture is continual improvement. And once you're measuring what matters, you'll know where you need to tweak. Measuring and continually improving is how you sustain a high-performance culture. To better understand our cultural alignment philosophy, check out our video, and it's attached in the email we sent today. Thank you for joining me. I'm wishing you the very best of success on your cultural transformation journey, and I'll see you tomorrow.